Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this cooking millet Zoom session.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How are you?
All well, ma'am, all well. आप बताइए.
मेरा घुटने के पीछे में पेन है.
घुटने
अभी
के
भी क्यों नहीं?
घुटने के
अभी
पीछे लिम्फेटिक नोड है, मैम.
हाँ.
तो वहां से टॉक्सिन नहीं निकल पा रहे हैं.
कैसे निकलेगा?
Stand facing a wall with your both the palms on the wall and tell someone to slowly slap, matlab not slap in the exact sense, something like this.
Tap.
Tap the back of the knee.
Okay.
And if there is pain, do it where it is bearable, ma'am.
Okay. So basically, I have to tap the area which is paining.
Not exactly paining, exactly behind the knee, wherever it bends, ma'am.
Okay.
Like for the elbow.
How long? How long?
50 times, ma'am, each.
Okay. Only one leg, right leg is the pain is there, not on the left leg.
कोई नहीं मैम, दोनों कर दो, निकल जाएगा दोनों में से.
Okay. I have started walking 20 minutes every day, but slowly I will try to increase it to 40, 50, 60, and then 75 is my target, as you have said.
Great, ma'am, great.
Thank you so much for your guidance.
Welcome, ma'am.
My husband has also started fasting for 12 hours every day now. So
okay.
he takes his evening tea at 5:30. After that, he does not eat anything. So next day morning, 6:30 only, he takes the next cup of tea. Black tea he takes in the morning.
Great, ma'am, great. Initially, for 2-3 days only, there will be a problem. There could be headache, there could be something like nausea, or you'll feel very uncomfortable. But it's just matter of 3 days. After that, it will come.
He is fine with that.
Okay.
From very first day last week only when I told him about this, he started that day only. So he's sticking
बड़ा
to
आज्ञाकारी husband है मैम आपका.
No, actually he's having knee pain, so lot of pain is there in the knee. So we are planning for a surgery. He's got bow legs. So he's having difficulty in walking and climbing stairs. So we may go for a surgery maybe next month or in May.
Weight कितना है?
Weight 82, 83 है. He is 72 years old.
मैम सिंपल देखिए, ये if someone is standing and if the weight is there, तो ये वो हो जाएगा.
हाँ.
तो आप अभी नी अगर आप नी चेंज भी करा दोगे, then also this problem will be there. So he has to basically reduce the weight, because if you put weight on the legs, this is that bow action. Yes.
Planning for 78.
So he has decided to at least come down to 78.
Height is
He's 82, 83 now.
Height is 5'11".
5'11" is his height.
सर्जरी से अच्छा है कि if you can reduce the weight, जब सर्जरी करा के भी even after surgery you will have to reduce the weight. Why not reduce the weight and see whether surgery is required or not?
Okay, sir, we'll try for that also. That's why since last 1 week he has started 12 hours fasting with me. And now let's see. We'll go to Bangalore to our daughter and stay there for some time. So let's see what he decides there.
Great, ma'am, great. Everything will be fine, not to worry.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, Leela ma'am, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great to see you.
I have been practicing much of what you've been talking about to younger generation. Um, I don't believe in extremism. I relate mostly to the Buddhist path of the middle way. So veganism if it's suddenly pronounced to somebody who from childhood has been a non-vegetarian, it is too much of a leap. Not that I was a non-vegetarian. I had no choice as per my parents. But I have, for the last 25 years, veered away, absolutely 30 years from red meat. Then I
Okay.
gave up chicken. Now I take an occasional egg once in a while, but mostly not. And I find it very hard to find those proteins through lentils and grains which you are talking about. Um, because if paneer is also not allowed, being a dairy product, and egg is also not allowed, and I'm not a great fan of only eating dal every day, which is my habit. So at my age, it's not that I'm resisting what you're saying, but I'm saying, does my body want to make abrupt changes? No. I'm doing quite well, given my age. I'm way pre-independence era. I'm born in the middle of the 1930s.
Okay, ma'am.
So moderation, the middle path, be sensible, be open to new ideas, which is why I'm on this um, WhatsApp group with you to listen to see what I can do, what I can't do, I don't do. I live alone. So to do it, to make my own masalas for idli, dosa, etc., not possible.
Ma'am, don't go for the change of dal also. Try moong dal variant.
I only mostly take 85% of dal is moong dal. And I make
Absolutely.
moong sprouts. I eat the moong sprout. So
And
also the dal, my body also does not like chana ke dal. It's too heavy for me. But
dry fruits, ma'am.
in the dry fruit, I take figs, I take apricot, I take raisins. I'm a fan of dry fruits all my life.
Ma'am, with your age, actually, the requirement of protein will go up.
Requirement of
Because
protein will go up.
when I say go up, it doesn't mean it will become a protein-based diet. But whatever you are eating, because not because that you require it, because the absorption is going down.
Oh, that's right. And
So,
also, I think I may have mentioned, maybe I have not mentioned, but I was diagnosed with carcinoma. I told that. Then I got a relief through all this highly toxic allopathic procedure of radiation, which has failed me, so that all the doors of allopathic have closed. No radiation possible, chemotherapy never, surgery can only be radical, take out half my larger intestine and put a colostomy. No, thank you. So I am now taking homeopathic treatment and I'm hoping for the best. In any case, nobody and nothing can change my mood of joy of life.
I'll tell you a small incident which happened about a week ago. There was a small kid with his father and mother. The kid must have been 4 years old, and his father would have been in the late 30s. So they were on a scooter. They stopped in front of my house. My house is next to the main gate. So he was asking, there are house available in this colony? I said, yes, the Bhopal Development Authority is the one. You can go and contact them. So then he started worried. He said, this is in a very secluded place. I said, don't worry, this is a secluded place. There are about 15 families already staying in this gated colony, and there are 2 guards. So this next question was, what will happen if there are many people who take over even just 2 guards? 2 guards is nothing. So I answered him in Hindi. I'll tell you. फिर तो मैंने कहा फिर तो इसका मतलब है भगवान बुला रहा है, चले जाएंगे.
Right.
So then he realized that because he came with a fear that it is in the outskirts.
Right.
which happens with each and every new colony.
Of course.
And he had a small kid, so his worries in life are many. I have my kids both settled, so my worries are less. So I'm not bothered if someone comes and fights with me or kills me. It'll take his lot of effort, but I don't mind going, because that means it is a signal from the Almighty that He's calling me. That's it.
That's right.
Chalo, ma'am, we'll start with the topic. Today, many people are waiting for the topic that
Yes,
is
absolutely.
Cooking millets. Before I start with the millets per se, I would like to cover the grains as such. Grains, all grains, be it rice, mustard seed, millet, or your fennel seeds, any seeds. Each seed has got three parts. There is a covering on the seed, which is called bran. Then there is something inside this complete bran. There are two parts. One is a germ and one is endosperm. Endosperm is the food for the germ, and germ is the one which will grow into a new plant. If you've seen a seed, if you've seen a black-eyed pea or rajma, it is something like this. And if you must have seen sometimes when you put them in for soaking and they open up, you find something like this inside. This particular small little thing is the germ, which is covered with the endosperm, and on top of the endosperm there is bran. Now, what nature has done is to protect the whole seed. The bran is there. Now, this bran is made up of a very highly resistant, which is so that it protects the seed. Insects can't eat it, or the termite or other bacteria, other thing, they cannot get into the seed. If you have stored almonds or walnuts, sometimes you find that the whole shell which is there, it appears that it is a hole, but the moment you press it, it gets pressed, and the inside everything is gone. That happens only when there is a crack in the bran. Almond, if there is a crack in the bran, the bacteria or small little insect will enter from that broken bran and will eat up all the germ and the endosperm, leaving the shell. So looking at the shell, it appears that it is a whole almond, but if you press it, it is only the skin which is left. So this skin is left because this insect or any parasite or anything which entered cannot eat this bran. It is so protective. Now, this layer, which is protective layer, is made up of protein. Why I'm saying protein is because basically the carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, whatever you call them, I will not even go tell you the protein. We'll just say it is a good boundary wall, a good fencing, and a good protection to the seed as such. Now, if you remove the seed, again, the inside, you'll find the shape of the almond remains the same, or a rajma, or a wheat, for that matter, any seed. Now, this portion that you see, which is the size of the complete seed as such, is endosperm. And it is in two parts. Like the moment if you're able to break open it, it will always open in a two semicircle or circular or conical fashion. And in between that, you'll find some very small little piece. That small little piece inside this two coverings is the germ. Now, this germ has again got a coating similar to the outside protection which was there. So we can call it the outer protection and then an inner protection of the germ. This inner protection of the germ is again made of protein, and it protects the germ. If you've seen a germination, you'll find a plant grows up, there are two leaves, and below those two leaves, you'll find this two endosperm opening. And from that, actually, the germ is able to branch out on top and make root at the bottom in the soil. Now, you will be asking me, we started with the cooking of millet and I have started taking a biology class on germination. No. My idea basically is to come down to a normal seed. That means it is covered with a very outer boundary. It has got food for the germ, which will convert into a plant if it gets suitable environment. And the germ is the one which will grow into the branches and grow into the roots. Now, coming to millets, the same structure is that of a millet. Now, millet is grown in a harsh environment where the climate is complete arid or very high temperatures are there. Now, if this plant has to survive, the seed has to survive that temperature, high temperature. For that high temperature, the outer wall protection of the millet is very strong, much stronger than the dals, much stronger than the wheat, much stronger than the rice. That is why cooking of millet requires overnight soaking. If you soak millet overnight, this outer protection is the one which is protein, which actually dissolves. Now, this outside protein is your soluble fiber. That is why once you wash your millet, you use the water which you have soaked in the night, because this first tier of defense, which is the outer layer of the seed, which is soluble fiber, has dissolved and has dissolved in the water which was used for soaking. That is why we don't waste that water and use that water for cooking. Now, once the seed has been soaked overnight, what happens? The top layer has disintegrated. The endosperm, which is food for the germ, has also got the water. If the seed was in the soil, due to the moisture, the soluble fiber, that is the outside cover, would have got disintegrated, and water would have reached the second tier of defense, which was on the germ. Endosperm is the one which will now provide the first nutrition to the germ. So this second tier of defense or second protection which is there on the germ is again akin to the outer one. The outer one which was there was soluble fiber, and the inner one is the one which is very, very useful to us, which is insoluble fiber. The protein covering the germ is the insoluble fiber. Now, this insoluble fiber is only broken down once you heat it or you roast it in the something like roti. If this soluble fiber is not broken, and then that particular rice or roti is uncooked. Now, what will happen if this uncooked germ reaches your intestine? It has got the tendency to draw water. It will draw water from your intestine, and your stool will become hard. And thus, many people have given up eating millets because it causes constipation. It doesn't cause constipation. It is the uncooked millet which causes constipation. So firstly, if you are experiencing constipation, that is because it is uncooked. That is the first sign that it is uncooked. So the remedy is that after you have taken you have eaten any of the millets, even if you're sure that you cooked it well, there is a requirement of drinking water more. Some uncooked portion, if it reaches the intestine, it will suck in all the water. So we should always drink more water with millets. Now, I will come to two basic things that we are used to is rice and roti. Now, first I will come to rice. So rice, once you have soaked it overnight for 8 to 10 hours, the outer covering has dissolved, the endosperm is exposed, and we have to cook to disintegrate the second line of defense of the seed, which is the covering of the germ. Now, this covering of the germ, water will only reach once we start heating it, and the endosperm disintegrates, or endosperm is swollen, or it has taken a lot of water, and once the water reaches the outer covering of the germ, it is then the second tier of defense will open up, and this will require cooking. For cooking, first let's do it in a cooker. In a cooker, pressurized, the temperatures rise. So the water requirement is less. So 1:3 ratio, if you cook, and let's say you have cooked it for 4 whistles, and you will in 3 to 4 whistles, don't open the cooker immediately, let it cool down, because the steam which is there will cook it further. Now the outcome is, it could be 3 outcomes which can come. The first outcome is the absolute nicely cooked millets, and you are happy. The second is watery. There is a lot of water in that. Or dried. The water has gone down, less. So now we have used a ratio of 1:3 in a cooker. Now this ratio is sufficient actually. If it has got dried up, you should make a note of it firstly, which millet it was. It was barnyard, brown top, little millet, or the kutki, kodo. And gradually, when you start cooking, you will realize that kodo is taking a lot of water than the samake chawal, or brown top is taking less water, requires less water, or something requires more water. But with 1:3 ratio, I'm telling you, with 3 to 4 whistles. Now the whistles will also play a role. If you go in for 4 whistles and see whether it is very sticky or they are not separated. Now, to make them separate like a rice, it's better to add a spoon of ghee to it before you close the pressure cooker. So, the best thing to do is to prepare millet like rice and eat it with your vegetables or with your dal. And dal chawal is one thing which we are already used to it. Now, when you do an open cooking, whenever you are doing it, it is firstly it is it could be in a steel utensil, or it could be on the earthen pot. Now you will have to do it once to experience the trial. You will have to go in for trial and error to see whether 4 is enough or 4.5. Basic ratio for open cooking is 1:4. The beauty of the open cooking is that it is visible to you. You can actually check whether the millet has cooked or not. If it is crushing between your fingers, now you will have to be careful. You will have to first pick up the millet from the pot and let it cool down, and then try and pressing between your fingers or have a bite. You will realize if there is no crunch in it, then it is cooked. But if there is bit of crunch there, and you will realize, okay, now probably in next 5 minutes it will be done. So 1:4 is the ratio for rice for open cooking. And supposing it is not cooked and you see the water is less, so you should have a pan with a boiling water. Add a bit of boiling water to it. Your rice, whatever it is there, will be cooked properly. Now, this cooking, the soaking will take away the outer shell, which is the bran, and cooking will disintegrate the inner second line of protection, which is over the germ. This over the germ will again give you if it is not cooked, it will give you something like a bite, like we have bhujia or something, which is it will grind. You can feel that, and again, over a period of time, once you're doing it again and again, you will reach a particular. You will be able to find out you will be able to know the time. You will have right measure of water. Now, the other thing which is more important is the moment in the open cooking it starts boiling. If it is boiling, the best thing to cook, the best way to cook it is on a slow cooking. So once it has got a boil, you sim the stove, cover it or leave it open. If you cover it, there is a possibility that it may come out, so you will have to keep standing there. Or if you leave it open, there is a possibility it drying up, so you may have to add water. But at the end of the result should be that you should have broken down the inner second tier of defense, which is the covering of the germ. Now, how do you make further? How do you go further from here? The best thing is, easiest way to do it, 1:3. Go for a very small amount. It could be your smallest katori that you have. Go for 1:3. Cook it for 3 whistles. Let it cool down. In the meantime, cut your salad. Make your salad. You have cucumber, carrots, radish, dhania, and those spinach. Whatever you have, whatever vegetables you have, which are there with you. Now, again, now making this vegetable in 2 types. You keep them raw and add the cooked millet, or you want it in basically in a more spicy way, like a pulao sort of a way. So you go in for somehow putting some tadka or sautéing those vegetables, or just steaming them. I leave it up to your innovation, how you like to consume them. Once you have made these vegetables, add your millet to it and the necessary spices. You will accordingly, if it is, let's say, dry, you have your pulao. You don't want it to have it a pulao, you want to have it like a upma. Sprinkle some water, the millets will start sticking, it will become upma. And you want it khichdi style, add more water, it will become a khichdi. So now you want some dal also in it. So when you are cooking it, you soak some dal along with it a day before, a night before, and add those dal also, and the whole thing can be cooked as a khichdi. While you are cooking, you want to put the cauliflower and the hard variety of vegetable, let's say potato or pumpkin. You add them when it is boiling. Initially, they may get overcooked. So now you wait for second boil, third boil in the open cooking, and then add your vegetables. If you want to add carrots, which are very hard, you add them first. You have those spinach or any other thing which are soft, you add them at the end. Shimla mirch, all those 3 colors, again soft, they could be added before spinach. So that part of cooking you are very aware of, and get any outcome the way you get various things that you get made from a normal rice. The other very good thing that you can make is curd rice. Once it is cooked, let it cool down, add curd to it, and rest it for some time. have your tadka ready. Tadka is simple, those mustard seed, curry leaves, and pour it over it. It's a one pot meal which is there, which someone likes curd rice, so one can make it like this also. So whatever combination you make from rice can be made from cooked millets. It could be any of the cooked millets. Now here only I will cover the idli batter. Now idli, I had initially in the recipe given you 1:2. That is, sorry, 1:2. That is, if you taken 1 cup of millets, I had said half the quantity to be urad dal. Primarily, I wanted to make it easy for you so that the cooking is better, it is more fluffy, and you don't have to fight it out, because this batter will in any case may give you good spongy idlis. But let's say you are you have joint pains, you are fighting with arthritis, or you are bloating, you have a problem with your bowel movement. Eating lot of protein is not advisable to you. So the best thing to go for is a balance. Idli has to be balanced in itself. So if you take 1 cup of millets, the best way to make it balanced is to add only 1/4 cup of urad dal. To make it more fluffy, you can add cooked rice or flakes or poha or millets poha or cooked millets. That fluffiness will come. Why that fluffiness comes from the rapid fermentation of the cooked rice. The other seed which is there is not cooked. It has just been soaked when you're grinding it into a batter. The fermentation process is much faster and much better with the flakes, poha, or the cooked rice. So this cooked rice again is 1/4 of the measure. So 1 measure millets, 1/4 dal, 1/4 the poha, and 1 teaspoon methi dana. Again, methi dana is the one for all the gastric troubles, for the fermentation and other things. Now the question was to put them together or keep them separate. Actually, keeping them separate will ease your grinding, because dal will take a longer time than the millets, or it could be the other way around also. If you haven't been able to soak it well and some portion of dal is not soaked or whatever, while grinding, you will be able to judge the grinding process much easier if you soak them separate, grind them separate, and mix them up subsequently. That is the only advantage. Adding salt to the batter is only once you have done the grinding. Once you have done the grinding and the fermentation process has taken place, the next day before cooking, that is the time you add salt. Now all this, the procedure is same as what if you've been making idlis before. Now idli, after the first fermentation, the idli will come much better. If you want dosa, actually the dosas will come much better the next day. If there's a batter which is left, you can it will still come up on the first day of fermentation. But if you want that your dosas to be much more crispier and much easier to make, then it is better to ferment, keep it for 1 more day, not outside, but in the fridge. And with that, keeping that in the fridge itself, your dosas next day will come out much crispier. But you want to make it the same day, no issue. You make the idlis, and after that you can increase the consistency, the pourable consistency to make dosa. Add water. The water actually, if it was leftover from the soaked one, you can use that also, or separate water can be added to them. Now, the most important part of the millet cooking is the roti, which is very difficult. The advantage with wheat is that it has got gluten. So even if you are amateur and can't and unable to knead it, or somehow you made it, if it is little gone wrong, you can it more loose. You can add flour and again get it to the required consistency. We have been making the kneading the flour as per our requirement. If we want to go in for pudis, it is a bit tight. It is with less water and with more of ghee. Or simple roti, again it has to be soft, neither too hard. If it is hard, your rotis will come out hard. So now, to get this required thing, the best way to do it is if you've seen, I had put up a image in the group wherein I marked an arrow. The measure of your millet of the flour is 1. The water will be half of it. If you take 2 cups of, say, little millet flour, the water will be one cup of it. Adding moong dal flour. Now, how to make moong dal flour is simple. You take moong dal, you have a simple mixer grinder, grind it to a fine powder. It becomes moong dal flour. The 1/4 of moong dal flour which we are adding to the millet is the one which will help you to knead it better and to roll out rotis much better. The other 2 ingredients, one of them is ghee and one of them is salt, is a necessity. If you say you are high BP, you don't want to add salt, you reduce the salt in your vegetables or dal. But the salt here in this is required so that action of dal mixing with millets and that gluttony thing developing in the knead when you knead it into a batter or the flour, it will help in that. So how to go about it? Firstly, let's say I take 1 cup of millets. I take 1/4 cup of moong dal flour and mix both of them. So how you do it? You do it the same way as you mix the other flour. Boil half a cup of water with ghee, 1 spoon of ghee and 1 teaspoon of salt in it. The moment it comes to boil, with the help of a spoon, switch off the stove and pour the complete millet and your mixture of dal into that and keep stirring it to avoid lumps. The moment you have been able to stir that, switch off the stove. Now rest this for 15 minutes. In that, after 15 minutes, basically, so that it cools down. Once it has cooled down, you can now knead it very easily into the flour. And if it is sticking to your hand, you can actually apply ghee to your hand and fingers, and you will be able to make it into a good dough for the roti. Now you will have to rest this flour for another 3 to 4 hours, again by trial and error. If you do it in winters, it will take a longer time. If you do it in summers, it will take a smaller time, but keep it covered. And you will have to use on your own, because I am no fan of roti. I am very happy with the rice and dal and the vegetable. Much better for me is the khichdi type, wherein ambli, which is 1:10. So I'm not at the moment covering today the ambli part. For that, I'll be doing a separate session, because the requirement there to make you understand is much more. So today, basically, I wanted you to switch over from the normal wheat rice to millet roti and millet rice. Now, if you are just switching it over, there's a problem where your family members will, there'll be a revolution in your house, okay? So you don't want the revolution or the uprising in the house. The best is to add 50% to your wheat flour or 50% to your rice and cook it in the way you normally do. Gradually, when the body of your family will start realizing that the benefits of which they will get, they will automatically tell you to cut out the wheat and the rice. If you are already on the millets, it will be much better for you. I have covered. Yeah, roti and rice cooking. We will not go in for variants, other things like how to cook pulao or other thing. Basically, today my basic aim was you should be able to cook millet like a normal rice in a cooker or in an open container, open vessel, or in earthen pot. We will not go into the discussion of is cooker better or is open cooking better, disadvantage of cooker versus open. We are all aware of it. I will take those questions subsequently. Today, basic question should be how to cook. Get it in the rice consistency, cook it like a rice, or be able to make rotis like normal rotis. We'll discuss only on this. I'll take questions only on this. The rest of the questions, subsequently, you can put your questions in the group, or we will again have a session on this. Because once the moment you master this art of making rotis and cooking your millet like rice, you have actually won more than half of your battle. After that is just your innovation. And I've finished. I'm open to questions now.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, ma'am.
In the post that we have been receiving, you have mentioned that we should avoid milk products, but today you have validated the value of dahi and ghee. Now,
Come again, ma'am.
I think I got an impression that milk products are to be avoided in your, right? So dahi is a milk product and so is ghee. How do you rationalize the two statements?
Good, ma'am. Ma'am, dahi I have not mixed anywhere. Only ghee.
Today you mentioned about ghee, dahi.
No, ma'am. I haven't. I haven't.
Okay.
Okay. No issue, ma'am. The problem with milk is for diabetic patients. The ghee, if someone is not diabetic, I would advise to take a glass of lassi only. The problem with thing is with the chach or lassi. When I say I don't want to mix it up, I will now use the word chach, buttermilk.
Yeah.
Buttermilk or ghee is very good because it contains gut bacteria, good gut bacteria. The casein, which is the protein in the milk, is actually broken down when it gets fermented.
You have a
there are traces of it still in the dahi and ghee, which is very bad for diabetic patients. Unless a diabetic patient, reaches a complete reversal, should actually avoid milk products. But the buttermilk and ghee is better for everyone.
And what about your the difference between A2 milk and A milk? Is A2 milk?
Ma'am, it is something like कि मैं कम बूढ़ा हूँ, आप ज़्यादा बूढ़े हैं. The milk now, because of the adulteration, everyone is trying to add something to it. A2 milk is basically desi cow, grass-fed, without artificial insemination, without those injections given for milking and other things. Now, how much they do it, how much they don't do it is actually very questionable. Like, मैं कम बूढ़ा हूँ, आप कम जवान हैं, तो they're very subjectivity, they're not very clear actually. So basically, to be on a safer side, fermented milk is good for a healthy body, which is already. But if someone is with diabetes, for a diabetic patient, milk or any milk product is not good.
Thank you. I have another question. If somebody else has a question, that's fine.
Yeah, ma'am.
My second question is regarding what you have explained today about making roti out of millet with 1 cup millet, quarter cup urad dal, and then
Moong dal, moong dal.
Moong dal, make a powder, and after making some kind of a dough, heat up the teaspoon of ghee and a bit of
Boil water,
yeah,
add salt, add
salt
ghee,
and ghee, and then put the powder into that.
and just stir it with a spoon.
So my question is, whatever you have explained in modern times, I am not part of modern times. But modern times, people don't have the time which you have mentioned that it takes to make a roti out of millet. Leave it for 15 minutes. इसके पास समय है.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. But the thing is, someone who's used to roti cannot totally switch to only rice rajma or rice dal.
True.
Or rice moong dal or vegetable. Now, someone office going, if I was office going, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll cook millets, have a bowl of salad, take a dal, take a sabji in all 4 containers. Once I lunch time, I'll take out millets. I don't have to heat it also. Add salad, add dal, add vegetable. It's a complete meal in itself. So the thing is, if someone is suffering at the moment, let's say a diabetic patient, he could do this because firstly he has to get out of the diabetes. Now, the problem is only getting the family members, the kids, or someone in the family who is used to only roti. It is the roti, something delicacy we make is out of rice flour. If some things which are made from rice flour, roti, simple roti. The procedure is same that we do for rice flour. In the rice flour also we require the boiling water. Basically, what the boiling water does is it actually is breaking down that second layer of germ. That is why we are putting the flour into the boiling water. The moment you put that in boiling water, actually the germ has to break down. If the germ covering has not broken down, the rotis firstly will not be able to, you will not be able to knead it, and it will not come out the way the normal rotis that we eat. Yeah, any other question?
If no one has, I have a question.
Ma'am, go ahead. You actually motivating others. Some people will actually think about a question after your question.
Maybe. My question is, you have mentioned the names of the millets. Some of them which sound foreign to me. Barnyard millet, little millet, but otherwise there's kodo millet, bajra I can understand, ragi I can understand, quinoa also I can understand. But I don't know what is barnyard millet. What is the Hindi name?
Okay, ma'am. Hindi names are Kangani, Hari Kangani, Kutki, Kodak, Kodo, and Samake Chawal.
Samake rice I know, but that is Hindi. The barnyard millet foxes me, like a fox millet.
like what I'll do is in the group I'll post all the languages what it is known. I'll put a slide there
Thank you.
because I'll be unable to pronounce it in the different languages, and a wrong message will go across. So how do you keep yourself busy every day, ma'am?
I am an activist, sir. I'm right
Okay.
now fighting to save a 250 number EWS children who are getting free education in my society for the last 19 years. But the present managing committee elected to the society, they are all corporate leaders and they can only think money. And so they are threatening the existence of the school. And I'm sorry to have to admit this, that I'm rather lonely in my fight, but nevertheless, I think I'm going to be winning.
We'll pray, ma'am.
I have got strategies. I have got some allies from unexpected quarters, which is a big boost to my morale, because when I'm expecting someone who betrays me, that is hurtful. I don't want to think about it. But when I get it from her totally unexpected, it is magnified 100 times in value.
Oh.
So I am optimistic that this fight, which we have not had to do for 19 years, has been presently threatened by the majority of the present society members. I'm hitting them hard. I'm writing to them facts and figures. So I'm very busy. I'm over busy.
Great, ma'am, great. That is required actually.
We need, well, today, no, I cannot talk about this. Something that came up just now. Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, everybody must be knowing his name. Rajdeep Sardesai, India Today television channel.
Yes, ma'am.
They are having some India conclave now. And this Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, if he were near me, I would go in and give him a hug. He has spoken so wonderfully about what in the true nature of India. It's a multicolored garden of so many colors and beauty and history and contribution. And today, we don't want just one color. Ganda pool sirf nahi honi chahiye.
Great, ma'am. Great thought, and he spoke. I think I heard that. No, I read on the Twitter actually.
I just saw it a couple of hours ago. Somebody sent me the video clip.
Okay.
So
Great,
everybody who's on this program, please appreciate what Mr. Pramod Pathak is trying to do with us. All he's doing, giving all his spare time to help us lead a more healthy life. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if there are any gentlemen. I can't see any.
Ma'am, there are no ladies and gentlemen here. Only boys and girls.
Boys and girls. Well, come on, boys. At least there was a lady before me, Indira Chopra, who was speaking when I tuned in.
You are the most beautiful girl here, ma'am.
Sorry?
You are the most beautiful girl here.
Thank you. Well, I also have a legacy, which I'm very, very proud of.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. My mother was a freedom fighter, went to jail, inspired by Gandhiji. I have met Gandhiji.
Wow.
At the age of
Great.
7. I was 7 years old. But I remember everything very clearly.
We are
And
fortunate
thank
to
you
have
for-
you here, ma'am.
Pardon?
We are fortunate that we are talking to you today.
I'm also fortunate to find another generation doing good, selflessly. The motto in my life is Nishkam Karam. तो आप वही कर रहे हैं जिसके लिए आपको सलाम.
Thank you, ma'am.
और
Hats
आप उससे भी ज्यादा
off
कर
to
रही
you,
हैं.
dear.
At this age, you're fighting for the society against all the corporate people. Hats off to you, Leela ji. We are so overwhelmed. And seeing you here, it's a privilege to have you in the group and to hear about you. You are an inspiration to all of us.
I have to thank Sunmeet Taluja Marwaha for being present here. She has been the instrument.
Sunmeet ji is the founder of everything.
She is
Through
a
her,
So
We have come to
at
know
every level,
Pramodji.
madam, every level, there are wonderful people.
Yes,
We can be happy that there
yes,
are
yes.
wonderful people working, contributing, sharing generously for a better society, for a better tomorrow.
Yes, each person is doing their own role. Sunmit has taken this up and she has introduced her to us, and through her only we have come to know you also. And hats off to you, ma'am.
Thank
I
you,
wish
Madam
I
Leela.
wish I would have been there with you to help you out.
Thank
I
you.
would
Your
have
moral support is all the help I need.
I,
That's
I
all.
would have I would have been by your side.
Thank you.
When are
Ma'am,
you
we are
going?
so proud of you. And sir, we are so thankful to you. And we are so grateful for this group.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
thought that. We have to
Chalo,
thank Sunmitji.
let's have the questions now, please, because otherwise we'll digress and we will lose track. It's almost 4 o'clock actually.
I agree.
Yeah, any questions, ma'am, on roti chawal?
No, sir, you explained so well that we don't have any questions. Now is the time when we start doing it, we will know.
Ma'am, the cooking is always trial and error, ma'am.
I do my
And
own cooking, so I will try. I'm most enthusiastic. I've already got my millets.
great, great, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Well, I think we used up our time.
Yeah, Indra ma'am, any question?
I will try to make the roti.
Yes, roti, for roti we can use all the millets.
You can use all the millets. The key to it is to add moong dal.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that
I will make
green moong dal.
Ma'am, any. You start with
Yellow.
dhuli. You start
Acha.
with dhuli or you start with moong split or moong whole. Basically, you have to make a powder. Moong whole will give you a much better roti because of the outer shell. Now, again, all seeds are same. So the soluble fiber on the outer covering of the seed is the one which will give you that gluttony or that जो कहते हैं ना roti फूलेगी. It won't be like those हाथ की roti, those bread gone wrong actually, which is very hard. So it will be very soft also and malleable, and you will be able to make it also.
So flour, I have to buy the flour directly, or can I just grind it at home?
मैम अभी मैंने दुकान तो खोली नहीं है, आपको खुद ही ग्राइंड करना पड़ेगा.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, don't go for flour. You never know what is there in it. The best is you can see a dal, and
Yeah,
so that is more psychologically. I'm very anything in a packet which is mixed up, and I don't see a dal. I'm very apprehensive about it, especially besan. बेसन जो आजकल पैकेट्स में आता है, I seldom I tell my wife कि the better is you get the dal, we'll do it at home only.
So how do you make besan at home?
Ma'am, what is besan? Basically, is that chana dal powder.
Acha.
And for you in the market, they basically give you a polished chana dal besan, and you are very happy कि वो काफी बहुत ही bright yellow type आता है. But if you look at the dal, it has to be dark yellow. So try sometime. Basically, no one wants to put that dal into the mixer grinder. You will have to go in for a higher, basically higher grade mixer grinder for that. Normal mixer grinder may give up.
Yeah. So millets also I have to make flour at home only.
Millets where we are not at the moment making any
बस
flour.
मैंने
We are
ये
buying it.
Okay.
गलती से यहाँ नहीं
ठीक. Thank you.
Yeah, any questions?
ये रख.
Yeah, ma'am.
Sir, how can we grind the dal at home?
मैम मूंग दाल, सिंपल मूंग दाल जो आपके वहाँ डब्बे में है, निकालो उसको, and it's better that you will be requiring it daily. So about half a kg, you grind it, make a powder in the normal mixture grinder.
Normal mixer grinder can be grinded. Okay.
Yes, yes. Normal mixer grinder. Try to, once you have made a flour, try to keep it dry. Basically, there's moisture in that, it will go bad. So ideally go in for a smaller quantity, and gradually you will come to know how much is your requirement in a week. And I can tell you this much. A quantity of wheat or rice which is feeding 4 people, the same quantity of millet will be feeding 12 people.
Okay.
So initially go for a less quantity, so that because you are trying to get it into your meals. You
Yes.
eating wheat also and millets also.
Yeah.
So there are chances of it going waste. And I don't waste a single grain of millet. I'll tell you how. There was I made rice, I think, day before I made rice, and somehow yesterday we had gone out somewhere, so it had gone bad yesterday evening. And my wife didn't realize, because my daughter has just joined yesterday, so we all were very busy. Yesterday night I found it is totally gone bad. I took the whole rice, filled a bucket in the garden, put all the badly fermented millet into it, and today morning I watered all the plants with it.
Okay.
Because whether it is plant or whether it is body, both of them require soluble and insoluble fiber.
Okay. That's a good idea.
So I don't leave them waste. I added those banana peels also in that overnight. So next day, my plants are happy.
Okay. That's great. Thank you, sir.
That means we shall not buy that multigrain that flour that is available in the market.
Ma'am, multigrain in any case is we have been discussed and we have actually sorted it out. Multigrain, which multigrain are you talking about, ma'am?
You don't know you get multigrain the atta in the market.
Ma'am, the proper single millet flour is available. Multigrain, one should not go in for multigrain because each grain has a different digestive time.
Okay.
And a digestive process. If you take, let's say, even if you take 3 or 4 grains mixed roti, now the body has to have 4 procedures to digest each of one of them. The strain on the body is much more. It is something like there is a motor, you're trying to pump water, you're trying to water the fields, you are trying to run an atta chakki with it, you are trying to run a fan with it, and at the same time you have done some contraption and trying to build electricity also. So a single motor is being geared up to do various tasks. So what will happen is that the motor will give up sometime. A similar thing happens in the digestive system. Okay. Every grain, if you have read the Dr. Khader Wali's protocol book, he says he mentions only one millet, 1 day or 2 days, and change the millet. And he's not talking of one meal; he's talking of the whole day, man.
Then that means it is true with the fruits and vegetables also. Same thing,
ma'am. Now what you're trying to ask me is कि कुल्हाड़ी से ज्यादा नुकसान होगा या चाकू से ज्यादा नुकसान होगा? कुल्हाड़ी को, if I try to cut a watermelon with an axe, or I try to cut a watermelon with a knife, the difference. So now the digestive system is, for the grains, normal digestion is 4 to 6 hours. The digestion time of fruit is 2 hours. 2 hours for all the fruits, maximum it can go is 2.5 to 3 hours. So the strain on the body is less. Now why the same thing is not applying to the fruits is because you are generally taking them as a snack. You're not taking them as a whole. Like how many? You probably will take one banana, two oranges, one apple, and probably 2 or 3 spoons of pomegranate. Or you are very hungry, you may take half a guava. Now, this digestion time of each fruit is 2 to 2.5 hours, but the process is more similar. Now, what happens in the grain is the germ which we are eating actually has got the exact procedure for the digestion of that particular grain. So imagine once you've taken a grain, it goes to the intestine, and as per the disintegration of that insoluble fiber over the germ, the body metabolism prepares the digestion of the endosperm. The signal body gets is from the insoluble fiber of the germ, the second layer of defense. Whereas fruits, the signaling has already started from the mouth.
Yes.
So that's the difference. Actually, that is the why there is a varying digestion time. Now, if I have a choice, I am on a one meal, and I say, okay, I'm only on fruits. I would love to take 4 or 5 types of fruit.
Definitely.
But now compare my state when I'm having 5 types of fruits on one day a meal, or I take 1 type of fruit one day.
Please don't do anything till we talk. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, ma'am. You got my point.
Yes, I got. That means you should have millet only one at a time, and fruits if you are having as a meal, then you can combine them.
No, ma'am. आप बिल्कुल नहीं समझे हो. आप मेरी बात समझिए. आप you stop taking advice from many people. I'll tell you the reason why. Today, every second person has got a different way because he or she has taken money from you. So he has to produce something and tell you something different. So he can't, he has to make you eat fruit, he has to make you eat grains, he has to make you eat protein, and he has to make you eat the salad. So to make it easy for you, wo kehta hai, okay, today have only banana, because he is making a diet and giving it to you. For him, writing fruits 500 grams. फिर आपका next question होगा 500 grams कौन-कौन से खाने हैं? Okay, have 1 banana, 1 orange, 1 apple. Then you will say, okay, this is more than 500 grams. Okay, then he will start writing half banana, and then he'll come to say कि यार ये बहुत हो गया. Now imagine the psyche of that person and the person who is affected. Then he comes out with the idea कि चलो यार इसको बताता हूँ कि एक ही fruit खाना है. 500 gram, everything will be go off. He'll immediately start writing, okay, have only 1 fruit. So now it solves the person who has paid for the diet and the person who is making money by giving you a diet. If you look at it, it boils down, you have to eat fruit, eat it separately. The digestion of fruit should not be mixed with the grains. The digestion of fruit is 2 to 2.5 hours. Most invariably, they guide you to have fruit for breakfast, and they know that you will automatically have more than 2.5 hours of gap between breakfast and lunch. It doesn't matter. Now, I'll tell you my thing, which I've already put in the update. I have 1 meal a day. I start with 1 banana. I have my salad. I have my millet rice, and I have my dessert also. Now, all together. Why all together? Because my body requires a balanced diet. Now, the only problem will occur in my stomach is it will take a longer digestion time. It doesn't bother me because I am not taking any meals after this. Let it take.
Taking only 1 meal, but
I am taking only 1 meal. Now, if I decide, okay, today I'm feeling full, I'll just go in for fruits. And gradually I'll say, okay, today there's hardly any fruit available in the house. Only guavas are there. I'll take only guavas. Today there is no fruit, no salad. Okay, I will have only grains. So the thing is, for me, it doesn't make a difference. For a person having 3 meals, what one has to really understand is the digestion time of each meal. If you
Suppose
are
you have
having
2 meals. Suppose you have 2 meals. If not cooked ones, otherwise one fruit meal, one cooked meal. So what is the preferable time for the cooked meal?
okay,
It's the
now
afternoon.
first you tell me, if you are taking 2 meals, how much gap is there between 2 meals?
Say about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay, grains I told you will take a digestion time from 4 to 6 hours.
Mhm.
So if you have taken a grain, salad, fruit, diet, so you can give a gap of 6 hours before the next meal is fine for you. If you just taken fruits, take a digestion in 2.5 hours. If you want, you have taken grains and fruits, let's say, you give the maximum gap between the 2 meals, add 1 more hour for the food which will take the longest time. You understanding,
That means
ma'am?
suppose, no, you tell me, I am not still this thing. No, you're going from 2 meals to 1 meal, right?
Okay.
Now 2 meals to 1 meal. So I start my day with say about 11:30, because 2 meals means there should be some 14 hours gap, you say, or 16 hours gap. So how will you do that? You have the 8 hours window with you
8 hours fitting time.
fitting, no? So how will you start with the suppose morning 11 o'clock or say 12 o'clock you do. You have to finish by 6 o'clock.
12 o'clock, then you finish by 8 o'clock. No?
12 to 8.
Yeah.
So what do you have? Suppose I want to have fruits in the morning. So I should have fruits.
No, ma'am. Now that is where you're going wrong. Now I'll ask you before this, what were you having in your 3 meals? From 3 meals, you have shifted to 2 meals.
3 meals में तो जब हम बोलते हैं तो वो पता नहीं जब दिल करे जब कोई आ गया जब कुछ बना तो खा लिया. So
No, ma'am.
well,
No.
generally it was breakfast, lunch and dinner. But then we eat in between also. So from that
Okay,
we reduce
okay.
to okay.
I will tell you a simple gradual process, ma'am. Firstly, everyone should endure to get your feeding time to 12 hours, irrespective of number of meals, snack, whatever you have.
Mhm.
At least first get it to 12 hours. In that 12 hours, the second thing that you have to decide is the digestion time, which will give you a gap between the meals. Now, let's say this person who is trying to reduce his feeding time is an obese and diabetic.
Mhm.
Now, he is used to eating again and again every 2 hours. That is why he became diabetic.
Oh.
So first, from more than 12 hours feeding time, which he was used to it, let's say he used to get up morning 6 o'clock, by 11 or 12, 11, let's say he finishes his last bite. So that is around 11 plus 6, 17 hours of feeding time. So from 17, let's say, okay, this is a very extreme case. We take a normal case of 15 hours. From 15 hours, someone has come down to 12 hours. If he has come down to 12 hours and his first bite is at 6 o'clock, his last bite should be by 6 o'clock in the evening. Now he is trying to cut down 3 hours, but he will feel very hungry at some point of time. If he takes early dinner, probably by 9 o'clock, he'll feel hungry because he's used to 15 hours. If he doesn't take anything at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 9, he's just in a very bad condition because of the hunger. That is why your first fight is to get it to 12 hours. How you get it is, I have put up a diet wherein I have said a sequential thing in that. You start with your green juice, then after 2 hours have your soap almonds and walnuts. After 2 hours, have your fruits. Then you have again hungry. You have your salad or a mix of salad. First, finish your green juice, green vegetables, or protein, the fruits, and all the salad, which is according to your weight. Once that is finished, then have anything for the after that in a dinner which is which is without sugar and without MRP. Without firstly giving up sugar is the first step. Giving up MRP is the second step. Getting your feeding time to 12 hours is the third step. Once you have got your feeding time to 12 hours, you will be able to differentiate between snack and a meal. Let's say you are on 3 meals and 2 snacks. Now, what happens is once you go on that diet, gradually you get the power to decrease your feeding time because you are not that hungry. So either you delay your first green juice, first bite by 2 hours, or you prepone your dinner and cut out on 2 hours. Once you start doing that, what will happen from 3 meals to 3 meals and 2 snacks? You will come down to 3 meals, 1 snack, or 2 meals, 2 snacks. Whichever way you progress, once you reach that level, you will be able to come to your 8 hours of feeding time with 2 meals and 2 snacks. Once you have come to this, you will then graduate to 2 meals, 1 snack. And in a week, you will be able to do it by having 1 meal, 1 snack, and gradually 1 meal. Now, if you come somewhere in between, the problem is you are just trying to fit in somewhere without removing sugar, without removing MRP, without having done 3 months of 12 hours feeding time. It will be a problem. You may be able to endure it for not more than 15 days, 20 days. But because of the craving, not built up of the gut bacteria, you will lose your willpower. First, identify that whether you've given up sugar, given up MRP, is your feeding time 12 hours. Then start reducing your feeding time. I hope I've made it very clear, ma'am.
Very clear, but MRP, milk is not there. Refined sugar, suppose what is being cooked sometimes at home with the vegetables, so it's okay. I don't say anything because I cannot cook. Third is your pea, your product. That of course have got little, craving for that because sometimes people are eating, so they say for the thing. So I do eat little sometimes, but I think I should stop that also because my willpower is not there. I do feel like having because
Ma'am,
that's
that
not going.
willpower will only come when you go gradually. All of a sudden, because someone is saying that okay, you're listening to me saying 1 meal a day. Let me try. If you try, what will happen? You will have, if you are a BP patient, your BP will go up because your body is used to that food. If you are diabetic, your sugar will fall very suddenly, which is again a very bad. So gradual, ma'am, gradual. If you are having one packet,
I'm not diabetic. I'm not a blood pressure patient. I have the skin problem, but I think when I eat, I don't know what is being cooked sometimes, so it aggravates. It starts itching. So I don't know what is giving me this itching because I'm trying different eating different
ma'am, itching basically is gut bacteria. Ma'am, आप ferment food बढ़ाइए.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I'll try this and then do you next thing. Thank you so much for explaining it so nicely. Thank you.
Yeah, any questions, ma'am? I can take another question. रोटी और चावल का सवाल है बस आज का.
No, I'll shift to the millets now. We have got, my son has got a full bag of the mixed millet atta. So I don't know. That is to be used now.
Mixed again. It's a what, whole grain or flour?
It is flour का mix है. उसमें चना भी है, जवार भी है, गेहूं भी है. I mean, like that too.
वो तो खाना
So we
पड़ेगा
have
पिटा
mixed in
लेके.
we have mixed in the flour. So to be on the safer side, because I don't know whether
It is still better, ma'am. It is still better than wheat and rice. So gradually,
Okay.
खत्म करो उसको.
Okay. So rice and wheat we shall not eat. You mean to say rice should be cut down? Totally cut
And
down.
rice and wheat is the problem. It is,
Okay.
now he's brought it. More than
Okay,
anything
sure.
else, there is love in that. That love will reduce the harm.
But
Don't
they
worry.
they all eat rice more than the this chapati, because it's easy,
Tell them to add 50% millets in that.
Okay. In the rice itself.
Yeah, and cook it.
Okay. Cook it. Okay. That's good. Slowly they will come to it. Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll
Welcome.
try doing this.
I think if we don't have any questions, we can close the session today.
Good afternoon, sir.
Huh, ma'am?
Sir, I wanted to ask you about the ferment food, like vegetables. How do you make it? I don't know how to make it, and I was absent like in the starting, so like I was not in the this thing.
Ma'am, do you make salads at home?
Yeah,
You make salads and for lunch and dinner both, is it?
special mainly for lunch.
Okay. And what is the time that you are cutting them, ma'am?
Like 12. I have my lunch at 1. So by 12 o'clock.
Okay. Now what you should start doing it is tomorrow first thing in the morning, cut your salad.
Okay.
Whatever it is. Sprinkle some salt over it. Don't refrigerate it. Cover it and keep it in a warm place. It will get fermented by afternoon.
Only salt should be added.
Just sprinkle salt or basically put it in a bowl, put a salt and give 2-3 turns in it so that it mixes up and then cover it and keep it. Use cucumber, radish, onions and tomatoes, carrots.
Salad leaves, beetroot, everything, whatever we have like for salad.
Leaves mat daliye abhi.
Okay.
Basically, you should have cucumber in it. Khira hone se kya hoga? The cucumber is the one which start fermenting first because of the salt. And gradually that thing will spread with the other vegetables. Or I don't want to increase your work by telling you to put them separately. That's why I'm saying put them together because you're eating daily.
Yeah.
And what generally happens is whenever we make salads which is a normal practice, we try and put it on a plate in a very pleasing to the eyes decoration and place it in the refrigerator, which is bad. The moment you place it in the refrigerator, its water content is sucked in by the fridge, leaves it dry, and whatever the little bit of bacteria was also there, it also dies. By sprinkling salt, you are not doing anything with the fermentation, but you are putting a protective layer so that it doesn't go bad. And by covering it and keeping it in a dark place, you are trying to maintain a normal temperature. Now, tomorrow when you do it, note the time, note the taste. If you like, it is not good, do it 2 hours, reduce the fermentation time by 2 hours. Gradually, as the temperature rise, the time will get reduced. and you will reach a level where it is easily palatable. That itself will be there. Once you have done this, naturally one fine day will be there where you will not have carrot, you will not have radish, you will not have other vegetables. Probably you will just have cucumber or kheera. Make only cucumber that day. That particular day, make a brine of 5% salt, 2% salt. 5% will be too much. 2% salt, and dip them in the morning. Afternoon, remove the
How much
brine.
water?
Brine is salt and water, ma'am.
Water, how much water in it? Like
2%, ma'am, 2%. Whatever you are putting, you're putting 1 liter of water, put 20 grams of salt.
okay.
2%.
Okay.
100 grams, just put 2 grams of salt. Very little. Salt is basically to protect the vegetable from the
bad bacteria.
Other bad bacteria which is moving around in the environment, ma'am. Yeast, fungi, and other things are moving around, which we don't even come to know. And in the brine, it should be dipped. It should not be popping out from the top level. Just ensure that by some weight or some innovate something, and just matter of 4 or 5 hours, you get the best of the cucumbers that you have eaten.
But sir,
Okay, then you take out the cucumber and eat it. You don't have to take it with the brine.
You just throw away the brine.
Okay, got it.
जैसे चावल का पानी निकाल देते हैं चावल खाने से पहले अगर खुले में पकाया है, similarly remove that brine.
Okay.
तो 2% salt से मत करो दोस्ती, उसको फेंक दो, because it would have attracted lot of bad bacteria or fungi. Using the same water for again second fermentation, things will go more bad. For the next day, make a fresh one. That is much better rather than 2%. 20 ग्राम का नमक 5 रुपए किलो आता है, सेंधा नमक, वो sea salt ढेले वाला. I'm telling you to buy that one. So that is the best.
But the sea salt I had bought, it was very very ganda, I got it from a Pansarika shop, but it was very dirty, like it was not
very
clean.
dirty, it was very moist, it was sticking in the hand.
No, it was dirty, like thoda sa काला था.
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मैम. उसको मेक 2% निकालो, उसके अंदर से 1 लीटर पानी के अंदर 20 ग्राम डालो, उसको छान लो, सारी गंदगी निकल जाएगी.
So for the
अगर चाय की छलनी से नहीं निकल रहा है तो आटे की छलनी से छान लो. अब आटे की छलनी नहीं है तो आप मुझे एड्रेस बता दो, मैं लेके आता हूँ, अगर आप बाजार से नहीं ला सकते.
नहीं सब कुछ है.
So the cucumber, we have to take out the seeds before putting it in the for fermenting.
No. Why?
Yes, if you remove the seeds, so it will not give you that galgala feeling. Otherwise, the seeds portion is very soft and gets fermented very fast, and it becomes very soggy, and it gives a very not a pleasant appearance. आप मेरे से क्या बुलवा रहे हो, आप उतने बीज भी नहीं फेंक सकते, तो उस बीज को उसी टाइम काट के खा लो, पर उसको फर्मेंटेशन में मत डालो.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I was wondering about the seeds only, what to do.
हाँ, सारे सीड्स की चिंता है आपको. और आपको मुझे मालूम है, ये खराब वाली चीजें रखने की आदत है, तभी डिजीज आती हैं. अरे फेंकना शुरू करो, जो बेकार है फेंक दो.
No, I don't want to keep it, but I was thinking I'm doing the right thing, like that I was thinking.
Yes, you're doing the right thing. Just throw them. You don't want to throw them. Put 1 glass of water in that, churn it and drink it.
Okay, thank you.
And put 5-6 baby leaves of your
Tulsi or
पालक.
okay, palak.
और भी अच्छा ड्रिंक हो जाएगा. एक नींबू भी निचोड़ देना उसमें.
Okay, thank you.
सर इसमें अलग अलग कौन सी वेजिटेबल्स डाल सकते हैं? लीफी वेजिटेबल्स नहीं डालना ना?
Ma'am, you start with cucumber and then you will start giving me recipes. आप cucumber start करो because 4 या 5 घंटे में हो जाता है. Start getting your family addicted to it, and they will tell you कि अगला क्या डालना है.
सर एक छोटा सा सवाल है.
या
कहते हैं ना कि सैलेड को काट के नमक डाल के रखने से सारे उसके न्यूट्रिएंट्स निकल जाते हैं, तो आपको तो बिना नमक डाले सैलेड खाना चाहिए, और आप कह रहे हो.
मैम, जिसने बोला है आप उसको जाके पूछिए, सैलेड में नमक डालने से उसका सैलेड का पानी निकल के आता है, न्यूट्रिएंट्स निकल के नहीं आते हैं, वो कंडेंस हो जाता है. एंड व्हेन यू ईट दैट सैलेड, it is fermented and it will give you more good bacteria.
इसका मतलब कि अगर उसके ऊपर नींबू भी निचोड़ दे तो अच्छा होगा कि नहीं होगा, जैसे बना के रखते हैं.
Okay. Now what happens is there I have to move from Delhi to Madras, Delhi to Chennai. I have to move in a vehicle, but there is a major river in between, so I have to have a bridge. That lemon is that bridge. When the necessary nutrients come out from the salad, there comes the bridge wherein they have to come out from the vegetables without any toxin with them, and then there has to be a reception party from the body which has to absorb it. This transfer of nutrients from the vegetable to the body, that bridge is the lemon, which facilitates this absorption. That is why every green vegetable you are advised to just put 2 drops of lemon, and we have been putting half a lemon. जब तक टेस्ट नहीं आता हम आधा लेमन उसमें निचोड़ देते हैं, जबकि रिक्वायरमेंट सिर्फ 2 बूंद की है सारा आयरन बॉडी में एब्जॉर्ब करने के लिए. व्हाट द लेमन डज इज, लाइम जूस डज इज, it is that bridge on that river where this transfer take place from the vegetable to the body in the large intestine.
Wait a minute. Correct. So that means little lemon is required, not much. And that
Not
at
much.
the time of eating. At the time of eating only, that not before.
Absolutely, and not necessarily in the salad. If you have made a dal, you put half a lemon in that. Half a lemon, lemon has to be in the diet. The problem occurs is in a family when someone is with the cough and cold.
Then you should not have.
Don't take lemon.
Okay.
Use khatai in the dal.
What khatai? Imli?
Dried. Use imli, dried mango powder or anything. Pinch of it, which doesn't even give you a taste, in the vegetable or in the dal. It will do the same job of lemon.
Very nice. We'll try this. Thank you so much.
Sir, you have time or should I?
Yeah. Bolo. I have 5 minutes.
सर तो ये फर्मेंट वेजिटेबल्स हमको ट्वाइस ले सकते हैं, लाइक हम लोग डिनर एंड लंच के साथ.
Fermented food, 2 hours, maximum 2 hours after your lunch and up to 5 o'clock. Beyond 5 o'clock, don't have fermented food. It is of no use in the body. By then your digestion would have started. The fermented food will go waste and probably cause you more trouble. That is why दादी नानी बोलती है कि रात को दही नहीं खाना है.
Okay.
Fermented food or dahi should be up to 5 o'clock. Sunset से पहले. Sunset के बाद तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं खाना है fermented food. नहीं तो वो ठंडा करेगा शरीर को. Because the sun has gone down.
Okay.
आप कहते हो कि दूध नहीं लेना है, पर क्या दही ले सकते हैं?
I think I cleared that, ma'am. the casein or sesin, whatever you
Casein,
are used to
casein,
it. Okay.
casein.
No, someone actually teaches sesin also, so I said, okay, I pronounce both of them actually.
Okay.
Casein is the protein in the milk which is harmful for a diabetic patient, which causes autoimmune change in the body, which causes diabetes. So that intake has to be stopped for a diabetic patient, which is there in milk and in small traces in buttermilk and ghee, which is harmful for a diabetic patient. But for a normal patient, the good bacteria outnumbers casein in buttermilk and ghee. For a healthy person who is not diabetic, it is good.
So we should consume buttermilk, ghee, and curd, and not the milk.
Bracket, if not diabetic.
If not that. Okay, correct.
So what about A2
Thank you.
milk?
Yeah, ma'am.
What about A2 milk?
Ma'am, again, A2 milk, I explained to you. Grass-fed, desi cow, without artificial insemination, without any antibiotics and other things. Companies claim that their ghee has been made from such milk. I have to just have faith. I have not seen it. But
Okay.
when you compare it with the other milk which is available of Saras and other all those dairies, naturally A2 milk, there is some inspection, there is some certification. We can assume it to be better than the normal milk.
Okay. Sir, I have a problem. Like I have a allergic cough since 3 months.
Okay.
So what should I do? The
Chocolate
doctor
कितनी
has
खाते
asked me
हो?
to take puff. The doctor has
Chocolate,
asked me to take puff
ma'am, chocolate कितनी खाते हो आप?
once in a while. या कभी अभी
अभी
dark chocolate लाई तो I was eating it, but not much. Like कभी once in a while. Then otherwise.
ma'am, last 2 months, how many grams?
How many grams?
One bar is 100 grams.
No. इतना नहीं. Like एक chocolate का इसमें से एक जो टुकड़ा होता है छोटा square cut. Maximum
Okay.
that हाँ. Maximum that once a day or not even once a day.
Okay. I'll tell you one simple thing, which actually you should tell even your children.
जी.
The food FDA, which is the one which controls the food standardization in US, it allows 4% of rodent hair, cockroaches, insects in chocolate. I repeat, the FDA, which does the standardization of food in US, allows 4% of rodent hairs, cockroaches, and insect in chocolate.
See?
This standardization was given when the cocoa manufacturers wrote an application to the FDA that for fermentation of cocoa, which is the base product of chocolate, the fermentation process is in large vats where rats, bats, insects, cockroaches are
My God.
rampant and they are unable to stop it. At times, they are the one assisting in fermentation, which brings out the taste in cocoa powder or cocoa fruit, by which the other products are made. Now, this cocoa is the base of each and every chocolate. Now, on 100 gram, if I go with 4%, 1 bar of chocolate, 4%, let's say cockroach, by weight, 4% becomes 16 cockroaches in a 100 gram bar of chocolate. Can you decide to have it or not to have it? Now, before you decide, look in your neighborhood. The first affected, most affected certification in the group after this meeting.
Oh,
Just
I lost you on this thing after a few minutes, you know. Look in the neighborhood. उसके बाद में पता नहीं क्या हो गया, आवाज नहीं आ रही थी.
look in the neighborhood for children suffering from lung or breathing problem. There are more children with the breathing problem in India today because of chocolate, because each 100 gram of chocolate has approximately 16 cockroaches in it. The content of 4 grams of chocolate is equivalent to 16 grams of cockroaches. Now that complete cockroach is not there, there is rat hairs, there are other insects, there are beside cockroaches, there is some flies are there. Those hairs are, which is acceptable by, now someone will say, okay, I'll go and buy in Switzerland. Each cocoa, the supplier is from South Africa, and from South Africa, every cocoa will have 4% of insect particles.
That means the cocoa powder itself has these things in it.
Yes, ma'am. सही पकड़े हैं.
How do they use it in that powder?
इतना बड़ा FDA है सर, तो ये बैन क्यों नहीं करता है फिर?
It is a natural process. Now imagine they have to ferment the cocoa fruit. They are in the demand wise, you can imagine the quantity. They are large vats. In those vats, they are under a temporary shade. The cocoa production is in dense jungle. The transportation of cocoa to the factory is not possible. So they ferment it there only.
So the basic hygiene is not there.
मैम FDA बोल रहा है कि 4% एक्सेप्टेबल है.
ठीक है ना, तो सर अपने को एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं तो अपने खाना नहीं चाहिए. बाकी then what do I take other precautions?
First precaution is that children should not have it at all. And if you are adult facing breathing problem, you should be away from chocolates of any type. Chocolate souffle, chocolate dessert, chocolate ice cream, anything chocolate.
Everyone loves chocolate, I think, but another thing, what should I avoid?
Ma'am, abhi pehle you start identifying what is triggering it, and gradually now I have told you about this. Probably lung issue is there. You are not exposing yourself to more open places. Pehle open spaces bhi mein dekhiye, walk through kariye, some exercise somewhere.
नहीं वो तो सब करती हो. That I do everything. In fact, अभी pollution के वक्त तो I got some bronchitis because I used to walk outside only. So I got hold of.
वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं. बाहर घूमने से bronchitis नहीं हो रहा है. It is
नहीं, ये जो pollution हुआ था ना अभी,
pollution है. You see, you can't blame going out. It is the pollution. You should blame the pollution, because by
pollution से.
Yes.
Sorry.
By making a statement going out, you are suffering it. Actually, sends the wrong message in the group. People will stop going out.
Yeah, I mean going out in the air, pollution. Yeah, because at that time ये जो जल रहा था ना हरियाणा और पंजाब से जो हवा आ रही थी, that was very bad air, right? तो मैं तो उसी के कारण काफी मैं I think I got affected.
Ma'am, the triggers can be many. It could be
one of them.
one of them. So gradually you start eliminating all of them. At the same time, identify the food. There could be some food. That is why regularity of a food is also not good. Has to be change. You can't be having gobi aloo every day just because season mein aa rahi hai. It should be, again, there should be a change. That is what will build up the varied gut bacteria and give because basically the more gut bacteria, good gut bacteria you have, the more efficient will be your immune system.
Okay. So like how much fermented food can one should have? Like एक हम खाना खाते हैं तो साधारण कितना 50 grams or more than that? पूरा salad जैसे लेते हैं, a bowl of salad.
Ma'am, I'll tell you about pickle. Just 1/4 of a lemon is enough, actually, and just two spoons of sauerkraut. I have already made sauerkraut. आप बना के रखिए. We go to Subway, and there we spend 600-700 rupees for a normal any of the item which they are providing, and each of them has got a sauerkraut which has been made in vinegar. You make it at home, simple. You just have to put salt in the cabbage, finely chopped cabbage. भर के रखो उसको. रोज उसमें से 1 चम्मच ले लो, या 1 चम्मच. You just make, children don't like it, mix that 1 spoon of sauerkraut in the salad, or you've already made a vegetable, बन के तैयार हो गई है, ठंडा हो गया है, उसके ऊपर डाल दो. Salad is much better because पता नहीं लगता वो ठंडा होता है. सब्जी तो फिर आप गरम करोगे तो.
So how's your mushroom going on? At what you are doing with the dried mushrooms?
I've just kept it. I have to now boost up my wife and tell her to try it one day because she's very apprehensive now. मैं चुपके से कभी-कभी 1-2 दाल में डाल देता हूँ या सब्जी में डाल देता हूँ. She has not been able to.
That was a nice experiment.
Yeah. Because
I'm
I'm not.
allergic to mushroom, sir.
Pardon, ma'am?
I'm allergic to mushroom.
No. Having sun-dried mushroom was for vitamin D.
Diabetic.
Yeah. Vitamin D, when you sun-dry mushroom, vitamin D is produced by a substance estrogen in that, which is the only plant, or not plant, you can call it fungi, I think. Mushroom is a fungi, which produces this vitamin D. Rest, all these supplements are only for increasing the absorption of sunlight and making more. They don't contribute towards vitamin D.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I think we'll, it's almost, I think, what, about to be 5. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, any question?
No, sir.
Someone was
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I got